Hi guys, welcome back to another video this week. I'm glad you're back. This week we're gonna be doing esquites. Esquites is corn. Esquites for me would be like refried corn. There's a lot of ways for you to make esquites. I'm going to show you my way. I am not going to be adding water to my recipe, but a lot of people do add water to their esquites recipe. Esquites would be like a street food that you would find. Same with the corn and the cob recipe that we did a couple weeks ago, except that this time we're going to be making it fried. This recipe, you're going to find it pretty much anywhere in Mexico that you go to, and it's like a big party. Also, it'll be like a snack if you want to do it. You can also put it on top of your nachos. For this recipe, we're going to need about 1 to 2 tablespoons of butter, a little bit of diced onion, salt to your taste. We're going to be using epazote as well. Epazote is going to give it flavor. Normally you would want to use jalapeños, but I ran out of jalapeños, so I'm going to be using the serrano peppers that I have. And lastly, we're going to use corn. I am going to be using about 6 corn, but however much you want to use, that's fine. We're going to start off by cutting our corn. You're going to place the flattest part of the corn on the bottom on your cutting board, and you're going to get a knife and slide it down. Now you have to be careful to not cut your fingers on this because it is very dangerous. If you want to use the frozen corn, you can go ahead and do that as well, but fresh corn always tastes better. Make sure you go from the top down all the way till you finish with all this. It does get a little messy since it does roll down. It is going to get all over your counter. I've seen a lot of people do it on bowls, like cutting it on bowl. Get a big bowl and just put your corn inside and just cut it that way if you don't want to clean up afterwards. But I find it that it's a little bit harder to cut the corn and easier to clean up. I'd rather be it faster cutting it up and then clean up afterwards. Whatever you want to do, it works for you. Just do that. So in different states in Mexico, esquites is different. There's different types of esquites. So if I'm cooking it a different way that you know or you've seen it look like, it's just the part of where you're from or a part of where you've seen it from. For example, where I'm from in Hidalgo, the corn on the cob, it's like I showed you last time, it's just the corn on a stick with mayonnaise, cheese, and Tajín powder or any kind of powder that you want to use. Esquites for me is what I'm going to be using right now, which is refried corn with epazote, jalapeños, and a little bit of lime on top. In other parts of Mexico, esquites is going to be boiled corn, and you eat it with the water that you boiled it, and then you add the mayonnaise, the cheese, and the Tajín. However you want to do it, I'm just showing you my version of it. After you have all your corn cut, we're gonna go ahead and cut the chiles. Like I said, you want to use jalapeños, do that. That's more commonly, but I ran out of jalapeños, so I'm going to be using the small serrano peppers that I have. For the epazote, when you're cutting it, make sure you're only cutting the leaves. You don't cut the stem. It's not bad if you eat it. It's just that you're gonna get these big pieces on your corn, and you don't want to do that. So make sure you just get the leaves and you cut it into small pieces. Once we have the epazote, the serrano, and our corn ready and cut, we're going to head to the stove. On our stove, on a deep pot, we're going to add our butter. Make sure you put it on low heat or else your butter is gonna burn. When your butter is already melted, we're going to add the diced onion. You're gonna saute your onion for about 30 seconds until it's golden brown or until it gets like a clear onion. After that, we're gonna add our esquites, our corn. Make sure you move your corn around for a little bit so it can get butter all over it. After a few seconds, you're going to cover this and continue this exact same process of moving it and covering it, moving it and covering it. It doesn't take very long for the corn to cook. It maybe takes about 10 to 15 minutes for the corn to be cooked, and especially if you're using frozen corn. I believe that corn is already cooked. I don't know, I have never used frozen corn before. I'm guessing it's already cooked. Our corn is fresh. It's just gonna take about 10 to 15 minutes for it to cook. Make sure you come back between every 3 to 4 minutes. Come back to your stove and check on it so it won't stick to the bottom. If you want to use water, you can add the water at this time. I don't recommend it just because I feel like it loses the flavor, but whatever you want to do, like I said, different people cook it different ways. I don't add water. You can do whatever you want on there. After a few minutes of this being cooking, we're going to add salt. Make sure you move it around. Make a hole in the middle of your pot, and then we're going to add the chiles and the epazote together. Mix all this together until it's completely combined. Like I said, you want to cover this and come back every 3 to 4 minutes to check up on it. After about 15 minutes of your corn being here sauteing, it should be ready. Just get a little piece and eat it. Make sure you taste for salt as well. The corn should be very soft when you're eating it. If not, you can also just squish it with your fingers. If it's easy to squish, it's ready. If it's still a little bit hard, keep it in there for like another 5 minutes. We're going to serve it on a plate, and like I said earlier, a lot of people serve it different ways. We're going to add our lime first, then our mayonnaise, and then our Tajín. We're going to combine all this together and it'll be like a corn in the cup, except I call it esquites. And this is the end result for our recipe. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. It's an easy recipe that you can use as a snack. You can also put this on top of your nachos. Just get your chips, add your queso and your esquites on top. It goes really good together. Don't forget to come back next week for another recipe. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Click the notification bell so you can be notified every time that we upload a video. Like this video if you liked it. Share with your friends if you loved it. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week with a brand new recipe. Bye!